Hi guys, today we're doing 5-9. We're multiplying polynomials, page 242, number 1 through 53, every other odd, and 59 through 61. Okay, so let's get started. Alright, so let's do a little bit of some warm-up. Take a minute, and let's do the following. Warm up with some order of operations. Now let's check our work. So every time I'm going to ask you, what is the base of that exponent? And so here, the base of the exponent is just the 3. So only the 3 is expanded. Right? And so that makes -9. Let's take a minute and do the next one. It is the base of the exponent is the parenthesis. So this means -3 times -3, which is +9. This is the base, should have had -2 times -2, which makes +4. Oh, sorry, to the third, which makes -8. Whereas here, we're going to have a -2 times 2 times 2, which still equals -8. And I told you where I'm going to get you in trouble is if I do this with -4 to the third power, or the quantity of -4. So here I have a -2 times 3 times 3, and we should have -2 times 9, which is -18. On the next one, we're doing order of operations. We have to do what's inside the parenthesis first. So that makes a -6. And we're going to square that. So that makes -6 times -6. And we get +36. Again, I'm going to have this. This makes a -9 times 2. So that's -18. We've got 2 times -3 times -3. That makes a +9 times 2. So that makes 18. All right. Okay, here we go with our multiplying polynomials by the monomial. So, as we're doing this, we are basically, it's just like distributing. Okay, so 3 times x becomes 3x, and 3 times 4 becomes 12. So again, if I have a variable here, I'm going to go here. 2a times a makes 2a to the second power. And then 2a times 5 makes, I have that minus sign, and that becomes 10a. Okay, we distribute around plus or minus signs. So pause the recording and try number 3. All right, let's check your work. Now, I'm going to remind you that when we do this first one, it's 6 times 2. I'm going to multiply it out. Sorry, my throat hurts. Okay, this means this, 6k times 2k to the second. Now remember, we do coefficient with coefficient. That makes 12. And then we add the exponents, k to the 1 plus 2, which is 3. So this is 12k to the third. Now we're doing this one. Coefficient with coefficient, 6k times 4k. Do you have to write this all out? No, you can do it like I'm doing it on the left. If you can do this in your head, 6k times 4k. 6 times 4 is positive 24. K times k is k squared, right? K to the 1, k to the 1. And then the last one is 6k times negative 3. So that'd be plus 24k squared. So if I'm doing 6k times negative 3, we're just multiplying coefficient with coefficient. That's negative 18. And then I have k to the first. All right? So just distributing, only we have more to distribute. Multiplying a polynomial by a monomial, or a monomial by a polynomial. A monomial is a single term. I don't know what happened to my answers there. All right, don't worry about vertical method, horizontal method. I don't really use the vertical method. I think it takes too long. So when we're multiplying a binomial times a binomial, it's basically, I'm not even going to use the PowerPoint. It's basically double distributing. Okay. And then I've got 2x minus 3. So I'm giving myself lots of room. So I'm going to be doing here x times 2x. I have to multiply this x times everything in the second one, and I get 2x squared, and then I'm going to multiply this x over here, and I get minus 3x. Next, I'm going to do 5 times 2x, that makes plus 10x, and 5 times negative 3, which makes negative 15. Now we combine our like terms. I have 2x squared. My like terms are these middle terms here, and that's going to make a 7 at plus 7x, and then I have my minus 15. And that, my friends, is how we double distribute. Distribute x to everything in the second binomial, distribute the 5 to everything in the binomial. Okay? So, I'm going to keep going. All right. So, take a guess what you think this is equal to. Give you about a minute. Oops. Okay, let's check our work. Now, most people, they think that they distribute this exponent, but I'm reminding you, we don't distribute exponents. We distribute when there's a number right here around a plus sign or a minus sign. You do not distribute. What this means, this is actually not true. Okay? You don't just square the first term and square. It means the whole binomial is squared. Okay? It means x plus 3 times the quantity of x plus 3. The parenthesis is squared. So now we can do our double distributing. X squared plus 3x plus 3x plus 9. And that makes x squared plus 6x plus 9. So, we've multiplied two binomials together, and we get a trinomial. Okay? So just be careful, because we don't distribute exponents like this. Doesn't work. Not the right way. Okay? What this means is that the binomial is squared. The parentheses are squared. Okay? I don't like to do it. Okay. So let's take a minute and do let's try number 1. You guys pause the recording. So it's 2x plus 5 times 2x plus 5. Okay, let's check our work. So now I'm going to do here, I get 2 times 2, multiply the coefficients. Remember, we add the exponents. It's 4x squared. Here, I'm getting 2x plus 5 times positive 5 is plus 10x. I'm going to go here, and I get plus another 10x, and here I'm going to get plus 25. So this makes 4x squared plus 20x plus 25. Pause the recording and try the next one on your own. Okay, let's check it. Again, this means 3x minus 4 times 3x minus 4. When I distribute the 3x, I should see your arrows in your work. I get, 3 times 3 is 9. 9x squared. And then I'm going to do this. I get minus 12x. And here I get minus 12x. And here I get plus 16. So it becomes 9x squared minus 24x plus 16. Not sure what happened there. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. I'm not sure where we're going. Okay, now FOIL. FOIL's an acronym for something I did when I was in high school. Nowadays, a lot of the teachers don't like it. They don't use it. They prefer double distributing. But I can't let you leave my class without learning about FOIL because that's how I learned it. We're going to FOIL. Okay, so generally when we multiply two binomials, we will get a trinomial. Okay, I want you to write this top part. Okay. You can write the bottom part where they were doing it vertically, but I want you to look at when we have two binomials, the first thing you need to know is that first term, we call it the quadratic term. X squared is a quadratic term. Minus 2x is our linear term. Okay, we use that when we were drawing lines. Remember we'd get like y equals 2x and we'd have to graph it. So when it's to the first power, it makes a line. When it's a quadratic, it makes what's called a parabola. Okay, and then we have our constant term. The last one. Please make sure you know what this what these terms are called, because I'm going to refer to them throughout the year, and I'm going to say your linear term is wrong, your constant term is wrong. So the linear term is always to the first power, the quadratic term is to the second power, and the constant term is the number all by itself. Okay, so when we FOIL, it's just one way. I'm actually going to show you. It stands for first, outside, inside, last. FOIL stands for first, outside, inside, last. I don't think kids really need it anymore. First means we multiply the first terms. X squared. Outside means we're multiplying the outer terms. Negative 5x. Inside means we're multiplying the inside terms. Plus 3x. And last means we're multiplying the last terms, negative 15. And then we put it all together, we get x squared, combine our middle terms, minus 2x minus 15. Voila, you FOILed. A lot of old timers, people my age, that's how they used to teach it. So one more time, I'm going to go back. Okay, first, those are your first terms. Outside, or our last terms are here. Our outside terms and our inside terms. First would be x squared. Our outer terms are negative 15, negative 5x, sorry. Our inside terms are plus 3x, and our last terms are negative 15. Now, I want you to practice this. I'm going to show you an even faster way to do this. But I want you to practice this because like when you're in Algebra 2 and you get more difficult ones that have like coefficients, this is just a good way to remember how to do it. Teachers don't like it because it only refers to binomial by binomial as opposed to what happens when we multiply. So let's try and FOIL. Go. Okay, now I'm going to show you how my fast way. Ready? I'm going to show you how fast I can do this. M squared plus 9m plus 18. Now, what do you think? Why was I able to do that without doing my first, outside, inside, last? This is my shortcut. If I don't have, it only really works if you don't have a coefficient here, okay? Okay, let's notice our linear term, what relationship does it have? Our constant term, what relationship does it have? So I know it's going to be m squared, but my linear term is always going to be, if I add the last two terms, my constant term multiply the last two terms. So let's try it. Well, we can FOIL or we can try that. So let's try this. Ready? We know it's going to be a y squared. Add those terms, and it's the coefficient of the linear term, plus 11y. Multiply those two, and it's plus 28, the constant term. I'm going to try it one more time. I'm going to get an m squared. When I add those two, I get plus 10m. When I multiply the last two, I'm going to get plus 16. Now you go for the rest. Go. Oops, I didn't even put them down here, the answers. All right, let's check our work. So I'm going to have x squared. When I add these, I get I get positive 2x plus 2x. And when I multiply those, I get negative 24. I'm going to get t squared. When I add those, negative 10 and positive 6, I get negative 4t. Always has to be the middle term. The t is to the first power. And when I multiply the last two terms, it's negative 60. X squared minus 9x plus 20. X squared minus 5x plus it's a positive 3 times negative 8 is minus 24. Y squared, it's minus 16y plus 63. Okay? X squared minus 9x minus 22. Okay, we're going to keep it in this order, right? I know it's going to be 14. Okay, this one's a little trickier, so I think I'm going to jump to mine because I've got that negative if it were all positive, but we know that our first is going to be 14. Our inner is going to be a 7m. Our outside's going to be minus 2m. And then our last is going to be minus m squared. So I get 14 plus 5m minus m squared. So I can always revert to my FOIL or my double distributing. Sometimes, I know it's pretty easy to do the first one and the last one. Like, all I really need to kind of do is this. So I know that my first one is going to be positive 24. I know my last term is going to be positive k squared. So the only thing I'm really drawing my lines for is negative 4k and negative 6k. That makes negative 10k. There we go. So a couple different ways to look at it. You can always just FOIL it. I just use my inner and outer term. Okay, now it's getting a little trickier, so you're going to have to probably jump into the FOIL because it's not so easy. Before we didn't have coefficients. Works really well. Unless it's an exact binomial, I wouldn't use it. So again, I'm going to do my first 2x squared plus outside 12x, inside plus 3x, and last is plus 18. But you do have to simplify it. So it's 2x squared plus 15x plus 18. Okay, pause the recording. Let's try the next few. I get 2k squared plus minus 10x, 2k squared. Okay, 2k squared minus 10k outside minus 7k, right? And last is plus 35. So it's 2k squared minus 17k plus 35. 2m squared. Outside is minus 5m minus 30. Okay, hopefully you get the idea. Let's jump to some of these. So now when I do first here, I'm doing x squared times x squared. Right? That makes x to the fourth. I can still do, this is going to be, if I add the two, notice, we can still FOIL it. Okay? First, outside, negative 5x squared, inside negative positive 9x squared, and then I have last, which is negative 45. So it's x to the fourth plus 4x squared minus 45. Okay. First, last, inside, outside. First, 6k to the third. Outside, plus 3k squared. Inside, plus 6k. And last, 1 and 3, plus 3. And there are no like terms. Notice it's to the third, the second, the first. I like this one. M times m is m squared. Notice this one becomes plus 5m, and this one, the outside, becomes minus 5m, and then the last one becomes 25. So these cancel out, and we're left with m squared minus 25. Same thing's going to happen here. We get 16t. My outside is minus 28t. My inside is plus 28t. And then my last is negative 49. Notice these cancel, so I'm left with 16t squared minus 49. And our last one, let's do, we're just doing regular FOIL. First, 2xm outside minus 10x, inside plus 3m, and then last minus 15. There's no like terms. All right, that is our show today, guys. FOIL, double distributing, and doing the shortcut method. Have a great day.